well, let's find out exactly how they did it. We've gone through the goals already, or the goal already earlier on, just about the fact that Darwin Núñez needed a good performance tonight. It wasn't just about the goal, but let's see exactly how he did it, Rio. We asked the question whether it was just great positioning for him, whether the ball was going in the first place anyway, but does it matter?
No, I think as a squad they would want him to be the guy that got on the score sheet. They need everyone. They know that these guys are experienced enough. So if they're going to be battling for trophies this season, they need everybody firing on all cylinders. And to get a bit of confidence, what better for a number 9 for a striker than is to get on the score sheet? Listen, like Macca said, millimetres. It could have bounced back off the post into the keeper's hands, or it could have gone in. If there's a little bit of doubt, you've got to make sure you put it in the back of the net. That's what a good striker would do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he performed really well, as I said before. I thought his work rate was excellent. It was a hard night for Liverpool. It's always going to be a hard night away from home. Difficult place to go in Leipzig. But his overall performance was excellent and culminating in he'll get the headlines because it was a 1-0 victory.
Macca, in the first half, there was an incident where I think unanimously, commentary, you guys as well, were saying, hey, that should have been a penalty, and it was checked by VAR very quickly. They said no penalty. You've had a chance to watch it back a few times. Change your opinion at all?
No, it's only cemented our opinion, really. When you see the angles, you still can't believe what the VAR... Whether he thought it was a clear and obvious error is another decision. But he goes down there. The referee's in a really good position. Hasn't seen the contact, of course. Refers it to VAR. Everybody else, the fact that the players are up in arms straight away, that's normally a clear sign. And I think that picture says it all, doesn't it? Does he come across and connect with Darwin Núñez? The answer's a clear yes. The only surprising aspect is that VAR waved it away, and it hasn't really had an impact on the final results. Otherwise, you would have had more people moaning.
And if they're waving that away, Núñez should be booked for diving.
Yeah, exactly, for diving.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just doesn't make sense.
I mean, we've seen it a lot, haven't we? The threshold in Europe at the Champions League is different than the threshold we're used to in the Premier League. And as I said, thankfully, it hasn't necessarily impacted the result at all tonight.
What did we think of Darwin Núñez's overall performance tonight, Rio?
I thought he would be pleased with that. I think it's an improvement, 100%. I think his all-round game today was much better, much cleaner. He brought a few players into the game at times, was involved in most of the key moments, made the keeper work there. I think he was in the right areas to score goals, is what you want from your striker. You want him coming off the pitch thinking, at least I'm in the right areas to get on the end of things. And I think that's important. I think his work rate, that's something that comes with him. That's one of his main traits. He does that. Yeah. He's involved in all of the good stuff that Liverpool done tonight, and that's what you want from your striker. Especially he's searching for a bit of confidence. If you can do that in that mode, when he gets a bit of momentum, gets a bit more confidence, he could be a real player. I think he's a handful. If you're a centre half and you play against, he's definitely a handful to play against. But you just want someone to be a bit cleaner, to get cleaner in front of goal and start executing.
I think that's the right word, cleaner. He controlled his aggression tonight. He wasn't reckless, which he has been at times. His work rate was excellent. I think he was the most efficient centre-forward Liverpool had. He was more efficient than Gakpo tonight. He was more efficient than Mo Salah tonight. Yeah. But as long as you chip in your 1 in 3 games, Mo Salah will chip in, Gakpo will chip in, Jota will chip in, and that's all Liverpool will ask of him himself. They know he's not the star man, but if Jota's out injured, come in, do a job, work hard for the team, get the right result, and everybody will be happy. And he's well on his way to doing really well.
And he needs consistency too, and he's likely to get that if he's going to start against Arsenal at the weekend. Perfect timing for his confidence to be high. Another great performance as well tonight by Kelleher. Has 6 saves out of 6. What did you make out of his performance? Yeah,
we were talking before off air when the game was going on. Like, you need a good number 2. Like, when your keepers don't come in often, but when they do, you want them to come in and hit the ground running. They ain't got time to get settled. They've got to be able to take up the pace of the game and really get in the groove immediately. And I thought every time I've seen him, he's done really, really well in that sense, definitely. Alisson's got they're big shoes to fill.
Massive, yeah.
You know what I mean? The consistency, the price tag that he comes with, confirmation of a world-class goalkeeper, and he comes in and it seems effortless with him, doesn't it?
It shouldn't be a surprise to us anymore because, of course, he's played in cup finals and won cup finals for Liverpool, saving penalties, etc., etc. He played more games than Alisson last year because of injury. He's already going to do the same this year because of Alisson's recurring hamstring injury. So the fact that he played well is not a surprise. It should be, well, this is what he does. Yeah. This is what he does. And it's almost disrespectful saying he's a number 2 because, of course, he does play second in command when fit to an Alisson. But he's played too many games now to be sort of associated with. He's an outstanding goalkeeper, outstanding when called upon.
Klopp called him world's best number 2. Those positions aren't always easy, are they? Because like you're saying, I know he's got a lot of game time in the last couple of seasons, but it can be very difficult to keep both happy, especially with goalkeepers, and confidence is so important for them too, Rio.
Yeah, I think you have to have a level of humility to be able to go, you know what, I am this guy and I'm going to sit back in the background for a majority of the time. But when called upon, I've got the confidence to come in and perform. And that means that your training has to be on point all the time. Concentrate, make sure you keep sharpening your tools while you're not in the spotlight. And then when that time comes, you're ready to rock and roll. I
think Liverpool have been very fortunate, I really do. They've been lucky because he was called upon at a young age and he stood up to it straight, statesman number 3. They've allowed him to flourish, really. The problem is going to be next summer because, of course, they brought McManaman from Valencia and he's going to join the club next year. And he doesn't want to be a number 2. And Alisson won't be number 2. And he certainly can't because he's too good. So that's when decisions will have to be made.
Yeah. He had a clean sheet tonight, but should he have? Because, or maybe not should he have is the question, but they had a lot of chances and they had a lot of 2 offside decisions. How frustrated would you be as an RB Leipzig fan tonight, Rio?
Yeah, I would be immensely with Openda. I think Openda's a really good talent, but you've got to learn to kind of stay on side. You've got to anticipate. You've got to smell when opportunities are going to be coming, and you can't be drifting offside so often. I mean, look at the finish here. Ridiculous finish. Keeper no chance. But he's not that hard. He's not a shoulder off. He's not a toe off. He's like a couple of bodies off.
And he could have and should have got back on side.
Yeah. This
is even more frustrating. Yeah. He's looking along the line. He's offside before his teammate picks the ball up. He's offside there. He's offside there. He's offside there, and he's still offside there.
And you don't have a problem. Look at his reaction when the ball goes in. He doesn't actually know he's offside, and that's a worry. It's a concern, really. You should be aware enough of looking along the line. Even there, the decision making. I think if he had scored one of the goals early, he probably shoots there.
Yeah, I know.
Confidence issue maybe there.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. What's it down to, and how hard is it to train that out of a player? And that happens so often.
Well, he's got youth on his side, so there is an option. You know, he can work hard, but sometimes when you're constantly offside and you've got no awareness, it's hard to actually learn to be aware of. He should have been onside then. Anybody can get themselves back onside to go offside. He was constantly offside. He was always offside. And in reality, that's nowhere near good enough because it just spoils everything else that your teammates do. You're the one who wrecks everything at the final, when the most important part of the game comes along, and you can't do that.
Did they let Liverpool off the hook tonight?
No, I think they made chances. I think they made good chances, but I think Liverpool made just as many chances. Yeah. If you say, they should have scored that, I could come up with a reason why Liverpool should have scored the other. You have to put them under pressure, and you have to put them under pressure by scoring the first goal.
Also, I don't think Liverpool will care. 1-0, away from home, in Europe, tricky.
Yeah.
The opposition are doing well domestically. This is a good result. Pack up and go home.
Of all the results that we've seen so far, in addition to those ones I just told you about there, these were the 2 early kickoffs, a couple of draws, Atalanta and Celtic 0-0, no goals in that one, and Brest and Leverkusen 1-1. Atletico Madrid actually went 1-0 up, and then Lille with a mighty fight back, 3-1 in the end in that game. Feyenoord also with a 3-1 win over Benfica. You can see Salzburg losing there against Dynamo Zagreb, and at the bottom, 1-0 win for Inter over Young Boys. OK, this is what it does to the league phase of the Champions League so far, and who'd have thought of this? Aston Villa, top of the table after 3 games. They're just ahead of Liverpool by 1 goal, so just on goal difference there. The top 3 teams are all English teams, Villa, Liverpool, Man City. You can see there as the table kind of spreads out a little bit in the second one. These are the teams, Arsenal on 7 points, quite a few of them actually coupled in that group of 7 points. But then some big teams in the elimination column there. But look, there's still quite a long way to go. OK, let's get the thoughts then of Arne, the Liverpool manager. 3 wins, 3 games in the Champions League. Imagine he's feeling pretty great. Let's listen to him now speaking with Jules.
Arne, congratulations. That's 3 wins out of 3 in the Champions League, but I'm sure you would have liked it to be a bit more comfortable, particularly towards the end. What did you make of your team's overall performance tonight?
Yeah, first of all, we are really happy with a win. You play a difficult away game against a Group 1 team with Leipzig that has done really well in the league till now. and also last season in the Champions League. So we know it was a difficult away game, but what pleased me a lot is what you just said, that we controlled the game for a large part, except for the last 15 to 20 minutes, where we definitely needed our two centre-backs, Virgil and Ibu, to keep a clean sheet, and also our goalkeeper in two big moments. And that was, in my opinion, unnecessary. If we would have left this place with a draw, then I would have really felt that we lost something, because in the 70 minutes before, maybe except from the first 10, we dominated the game.
Ideally, you have all your first choice players available for every game in a season. But obviously, with Alisson out injured, Caoimhin Kelleher is in the spotlight. How fortunate do you feel to have a second choice goalkeeper as good as he is?
Yeah, very fortunate. It's also a normal thing at a club like ours, that you have for every position almost two very good players, and we are very lucky, we are happy that we have two excellent goalkeepers, especially because Alisson was out last season. He's been out this season again, so that makes it even more important that you have a second choice like that. But it's not only him, it's also other players that maybe haven't played that much this season or were not always in the starting lineup that showed up today as well. So we need the whole squad in a tough season like this.
Yeah, I imagine Nunes, one of those players who obviously came into the starting 11 tonight. That goal, the desire, his hunger to score any kind of goal when he's on the pitch.
Yeah, I think it was you who asked me before the game, what do you expect from him? And I asked for the goal. Goals, maybe more than one, but he gave us one. But the lead up to the goal, I think Cody Gakpo was also important, with Mo, again, with an assist. So it is a team goal, and I would have loved the one from Godi to go in, because that one started all the way back from the goalkeeper playing through their press. If that one would have gone in, I would have been even more happy, because it was the 2-0, but especially because of the style of play. But it's good and pleasing to see that Darwin did a very good job today.
This week was seen as a real tough test, with two difficult Premier League games either side of this Champions League match tonight, but it's 2 wins out of 2 so far. If you make it 3 wins out of 3 on Sunday at Arsenal, will the expectation of what you can achieve this season just go up a notch?
We first have to play that game, and we know how tough an opponent Arsenal is, especially in their own stadium in the Emirates. And we've faced them this season before in our USA tour, where both teams were not having all their players in yet. But Arteta have done an amazing job here in the last few years. So we know, like against Chelsea and like today, we have to be on top of our game to even have a chance to get a result. But we will do everything to get that, of course.
Well done tonight.
You're welcome.
Yeah, congratulations to Liverpool and Arne Slot. A really good start to the season, and also to life in the Champions League this season too. Next 10 fixtures for them get slightly tricky. Obviously, you've got Arsenal at home, and then Brighton, no easy match there. I mean, as you keep going down as well, it gets really difficult. You've also got Man City in there, and then the derby at the end against Everton. Mac, let's come to you first with
Leverkusen, and they've got Real Madrid to come, but they are at home, so that's easier. Less travel, of course, across Europe. There's going to be difficult games like Premier League, but who's to say Southampton away, who are struggling at the minute, is going to be an easy game? You know, that should be a difficult game. They have got Brighton at home, they've got Brighton away in the Carabao Cup, as I said. So a lot of hard games, but, you know, they seem to just brush them off at the moment, haven't they? You know, they beat Chelsea, which is great. They've had a wonderful evening tonight. You know, get them back on the plane, get them home, get them prepared for Sunday, and we'll wait to see what Arsenal teams turn up, who's fit for them, and then they'll go again, and that's all you can do, really.
Rio, Arsenal not in the best run of form at the moment heading into this. They did get a win last night in the Champions League, but it wasn't a very convincing one, and obviously a loss in the Premier League too. Where do you think the balance of that tie stands at the weekend? Who goes in as favourites?
I think on form, momentum, I would say 100% Liverpool. I think they're the team that you look at and go, they're in a better position. I think injuries, Arsenal at the moment seem decimated in that sense. And they haven't got the momentum at the moment. So they're not firing on all cylinders. They're not the Arsenal of last season at the moment. So I think Liverpool, I think the tide has turned a bit right now. We're only a few games into the season, but right now here, I would say Liverpool.
It's very strange, isn't it, that we're talking about tides and momentums because we're so far in. But if Liverpool win, they go 7 points clear. City have got Southampton, I think. You expect them to win. No disrespect to Russell Martin and his team. So then they'll jump clear of them as well. If Arsenal beat Liverpool, of course, they're 1 point behind them. So it's suddenly, you know, the newspapers come Monday morning and have a different reflection on how the result is. You know, so early on in the season, it's crazy, we know, but everybody likes to talk about it, and that's the impact it'll have.
Yeah, absolutely. Things can change so quickly.
Yeah.
They do a whole season, don't they?